Hello, folks. This is Crow for Sports Crapology. CrowsCrapology.com has been changed to SportsCrapology.com. When I had a chance to buy that domain name, I jumped on it because it's really what I am. I'm Sports Crapology. I have dabbled in some other kind of crapology, but I'm mostly Sports Crapology is what I like to do. I am a doctor of crapology. I have a doctorate, which makes me a lot of theory and not a lot of application, because most doctors, that's how they are. But anyway, I want to talk to you about the NFL today. They have something called conduct detrimental to the league. They've enforced this on players a lot. They do enforce it on owners once in a while. Daniel Snyder of the Washington Redskins, Commanders, Congressmen, Senators, whatever they are over there. And they did enforce it on Richardson, who was owner of the Carolina Panthers. He was forced to sell it. He sold it to a man named David Tepper, who's made the franchise a lot worse. But I'm sick of seeing like the Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders, Mark Davis. I'm sick of seeing this team is just terrible. They've been terrible for years. Mark Davis, he's never had a winner. They switch head coaches every 2 years. They destroy players. They destroy players' careers. There's some players, Derek Carr's career would have been destroyed if he stayed there. Luckily, he got out. He's in New Orleans. Aiden O'Connell, I'm telling you, do the Davante Adams route. Get out of there as soon as you can. They're going to destroy your career. You're a talented young quarterback, and you need to get out of Las Vegas. Get to a stable team that has some stability with some good offensive coaches. Because Mark Davis will ruin your career. Crosby's a great defensive end, and nobody knows who he is. He plays for the Raiders, really. But anyway, but they should enforce this on owners. Now, Mark Davis also owns a WNBA franchise, the Aces, who have won 2 championships. They have one of the best basketball coaches in the history of basketball, Becky Hammon. I don't know what goes on there. I don't know how they win. He must not stick his nose into there. He must have bought it, turned it over to somebody that had a lot of good basketball knowledge, how to run basketball franchises, and left it alone. And maybe he just looks at the sales revenue and the financial part of it, which is what he should be doing. Owners should be looking at the financial part of it. You know, you can dabble in the marketing and the sales revenue and that type of thing. You know, the balance sheets, the net profits, the gross margins, things like that. They shouldn't get their nose into the football operations. If they are, or if they aren't, even if Mark Davis isn't sticking his nose into the football operations. If he has somebody else running football operations. Well, you're the leader. You own the place. You're ultimately responsible for this piece of crap that you put out there on the field every week. It's a bad product. You're ripping off the fans. And you have devoted fans in Oakland and LA, in Las Vegas, everywhere, all over the country. And you're putting out crap every year, and you're switching coaches every 2 years. There's no stability. You're ruining players' careers, and you need to do something. Thank God 10% has been sold to Tom Brady now. Maybe he'll get to be able to run the football operations. Richard Seymour, I read was approved to own part of the Raiders, and that Mark Davis is willing to give up a piece of the Raiders to him. So that's good. Maybe if these guys get in there, they're football guys, they played in the NFL for years and years, they can get in there, run the football operations, maybe something will turn around. But we need to get rid of these owners like this. David Tepper, the Carolina Panthers, I own Charlotte Football Club, so, I know what I'm doing, I guess. He's a hedge fund manager, Appaloosa Hedge Funds. I mean, that's been his business. They have a huge staff. I mean, The Raiders and Panthers, if you look at them, the thing they have in common is they both have huge administrative staffs. Some of these other NFL teams don't seem to need this large administrative staff to run an NFL franchise. And teams that are more successful. And the Raiders have 41 people in imaging. Well, actually, they call it image, not imaging. They call it Raiders Image. Well, basically, it's marketing and selling merchandise to people. And marketing the Raiders name and getting stuff out there with the Raiders merchandise out there with the Raiders name on it. But they have 41 people in that department doing that. It's basically marketing. Do you really need 41 administrative people? You know, the Carolina Panthers, they have a department called the People Department. It's basically human resources. They have a large staff in there. I don't know if they did that. Well, see, we're not going to be like Richardson. We're going to really pay attention to employees and, our human resources. I don't know if that was the idea or not. But I noticed the Carolina Panthers have a lot of people in there with MBAs and other master's degrees and other stuff, and you don't want those people because those people should be sent out at colleges, or they should have their own businesses, or go be creative or whatever, because people with master's degrees like to talk about a lot of crap and theorize a lot of crap, but they don't do crap. I've worked with them, I know. The Titans are a terrible franchise in the NFL, but Mrs. Adams Strunk seems to be okay. She has a small administrative staff. I don't know how they do it with, 20 people on their total administrative staff. And, the Panthers need 80 or whatever they have. I don't even know. I didn't count it, but they have a lot of administrative staff. You can look up their org chart online. It's all there. Raiders do too. Raiders have a lot of people in marketing. Anyway, we should get these owners out of there. I know Robert Kraft's a pain in the butt, and he's a wacko in New England, and they're terrible. They're like 1-7 this year, but they were good. They won many Super Bowls, and I'm going to let him slide. And he's 80-something years old now, and I'm going to let him slide for a few more years. See what Gerard Mayo does. See if they improve. They're playing Derek May at quarterback now, which is probably a good idea. If they can get some offensive linemen in there, they'll probably be all right. But anyway, I'm sick of looking at the Panthers and the Las Vegas Raiders, and they're just piece of crap teams, and they're not doing anything for the NFL. Anyway, let's get some of these owners out of meddling in football operations, and maybe even make them sell their franchises. This is Crow for SportsCrapology.com, signing off.